I'm going to make this as quick as possible. I'm only doing this because I'm a messenger and I am of Hebrew bloodline. This man is a Gentile, he's a false prophet, and he blatantly lies to you. You cannot mix Greek mythology in with the scriptures. You can't serve two masters. All right, I know that this is bootleg. I'm not here to try to fancy to anybody's emotions or give you false illusions. So I'm going to set this up because it is bootleg, and then read you from the Tanakh what this actually says and means. Okay, here we go. Listen to the false prophet and the teacher and the liar.
NASA has found a planet. They called it Planet X. 30 years later, you know the technology is much better, and now these scientists have found 2 planets in Orion. Well, and here's the deal. It's in the constellation Orion. Now, the reason why I say is it in the Bible, you'll need to go with me to Job 38, and then you'll need to go with me to Revelation 8. And this is why I asked the question, is Planet X in the Bible? Is that what... Why did the Lord give an explanation? See, Job was challenging God. Job was challenging God about, because of his family dying and all the things happening, and he had boils on his body and everything he owned was stolen, and his wife had even said, look, why are you still praising God? And Job started questioning God, just saying, God, help me understand this. And God basically said, if you read the 38th chapter of the book of Job, he basically says, where were you when I laid the foundation of the world? Where were you when I was walking on the bottom of the ocean? Where were you? Do you understand how it rains? Do you understand? I mean, so God just really goes.
Now listen, I'm about to show you guys what in the heck, I'm dead serious, what in the heck, all right, Job was reading and what this was saying. And it says it and states it all right here. Now, this is the Tanakh, okay? Now, this is the scriptures. So I want everybody to see. Right here in 23, it says, Shaddai. Shaddai cannot attain to him. He is great in power, in justice, and abundant in righteousness. Now, why does it say Shaddai? I'm going to tell you why it says Shaddai. He is saying Job is talking about a ruler and somebody that was pagan worshiping and doing all this evil stuff for Satan. All right, like we have the false religions and the Muslims, all that stuff. This was still going on back then. So let's take that like the Muslim religion where they're killing people in the whole 9 yards and the false and all the other false violent religions. Now, this right here, we're talking about Shaddai and what they were doing. So then it says in 38, if you go back more with the whole story, it says, then the Lord replied to Job out of tempest and said, who is the darkness that consoles and speaketh in the knowledge and gird and the humans? Then it goes on to tell him, who's the people who does all this? All right, who's the one who opens up Orion and opens up the bear and opens up the Pleiades? Now, if we go back all the way to chapter 9 in the Tanakh, in the book of Job, you will see where Job is talking to Bildad and Shuhite. And they said to him, how long will you speak of such thing in utterance are a mighty wine? Will God pervert the right? And will the Almighty pervert justice? So he's speaking to these people in the nation. All right, and he's letting God know what's going on, and God's replying to him to let them know. So then Job says in 9, after these people say all this stuff in chapter 8, Job said in reply, indeed I know that it is so. Man cannot win a suit against God. If instead it is a trial to him, he would not answer one charge in 1,000. Wise in heart and mighty in power, who will challenge him and come out of whole. Him moves mountains with their knowing it. Who overturns them in his anger, who shakes the earth from his place till its pillars quake. Who commands the sun not to shine, who seals up the stars. Who by himself spread out the heavens and trod on the back of the sea. Who made the bear and Orion, Pleiades, and the chambers of the south wind, who performs great deeds which cannot be fashioned. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you what that means. And etymology, educational, intellectual, spiritual, wise, okay? With the Holy Spirit beside me, giving me discernment. I'll tell you what that means, because he's a liar, all right? Pleads means, all right, the etymology of pleads is a Greek mythology. It came from plene, which actually means to sail. Back then they would look at the stars and it was in the south wind. That's the chambers of the south wind, because of how it would blow, and they would know which way in the Mediterranean Sea that the wind was blowing when Pleiades, these section of stars, were showing. Now the Greek mythology goes that Pleiades used to sit on the shoulder of Orion, which is part of the Hades, the Zeus, all this other Greek stuff, mythology, which if you go back and you read the book of Enoch, it says that not to believe the Greeks in there and all this other stuff, their mythology, because it came from the Nephilim when they fell and did all this other stuff, and God never puts in or takes away. Another false prophet and teacher trying to tell you. Now, if you're all right, so I just broke down the etymology of chapter 9, verse daggone 9 and 10. So you can read Pleiades and the chambers of the south. All right, who made the bear and Orion? This is where we get the Pisces and all these other astronomical, hey, what are you, a Pisces or a Taurus or Aries? We get all this because they would know what season and what month or what time of the year it was by these stars. So thus making stories for them, which technically came from the fallen ones, that if you read Enoch in the book of Jasher, it will tell you that they were making up these stories because of the old men of renown. Why did you guys, and you know what? It says the evil ones and the ones that are not of God, they will fall for the great deceit. They will fall for the lies and the false prophet, because of their heart and their spirit is not of God. And I speak the truth. Why should I lie to you if I'm Hebrew and I'm sitting over here telling you and putting myself and everything else out on Front Street?